Hello friends, welcome back to Apre on Aspen 82. Time now to talk fashion. Here to do that with me is the co-founder of one of my favorite brands, Apre Apparel, Palmer West. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good
Thanks
to
for
see
having
you.
me. Good to see you.
Welcome back to Aspen.
Thank you, it's always nice.
And let's talk about Apre. You guys have a brick and mortar store here now, which is such an addition to our fabulous community. What made you guys want to start this brand and then bring it to Aspen?
To start this brand, there was a personal desire for product that wasn't out there. Growing up sort of in the backcountry on mountain and having an understanding of what technical fabrications provide you against Mother Nature, and then moving and growing up and living in a city in an urban environment and really not wanting, with all due respect, to go to REI to dress for my day at the office, but wanting that same technical proficiency against Mother Nature. So it really started the same way we started making movies, where we started making movies for films that we wanted to see. So our first collection back in 2009 was about 8 styles that we wished, when we went into our local store, we could find, that had the look and the fit and the color palette that was sort of where you go after those outdoor brands, but still had all the technical backbone to support you without having to sort of NASCAR it all up.
It's functional, it's fashionable, and it's interesting you mentioned the battle with Mother Nature. One of the reasons I actually live in a ski town was growing up, I used to love it when it snowed and actually being able to go outside and play in it. So we get that opportunity every day here, and your clothes help us be able to do that, but still look good when we have to come and actually do work sometimes.
I appreciate the plug, yeah.
Let's talk about some of the technical fabrics. What are you guys looking to achieve, and who are some of the people you use to do that?
Well, a lot of our fabrics are actually proprietary, so a good portion of them we'll develop them from scratch, working with mills to try to get a certain hand, and even in some cases a sound that technical nylon-based fabrics kind of can skew towards a little trash baggy, and it can sort of it can have a sound that makes you think of those outdoor versus sort of a high-end hand. So we kind of geek out on surprising the customer, so that when you feel the fabric, you shouldn't feel it and immediately say, oh, that's waterproof. Oh, that's completely seam sealed. That's a garment. I get it. I don't even have to feel it. I know what it is. You should be, with our moto gear and with our snow sports gear, and predominantly our city gear, you should be surprised that it isn't, it's not branded in such a way that makes you say, oh, I get it. That's technical.
Right, and that's so cool. The acoustics of fabrics is not something I'd ever considered before, so that's very interesting.
Well, you will now.
I totally will now. Yeah. You mentioned snow sports, you mentioned moto. How cool is it for you as a company owner and a founder to be able to be working in 2 things that you're very passionate about, the outdoors and then motorcycles?
I've been really lucky in the sense that luckily there's enough people out there that enjoy the same things I do. So in both of my sort of working life, have been able to pursue things that I wanted and then just roll the dice to say, does anybody else want this? When we got into motorcycle gear, and that's just fully armored, for people that don't know, that means shoulder, chest, back, elbow, knee, hip, armor protection in case you go down. But we found that I made a deal with my wife when we started having children, that she knew I rode and was like, listen, you're not going to stop riding, but if there's a piece of technical gear out there that can protect you for our family, you are going to wear it. So I said, like a good man, absolutely. And then I ended up looking like a circus clown, that was really loud, ugly, ill-fit, not really wanting to wear those garments that protect you from asphalt and from a collision into any environment that I would know anybody.
A coffee shop.
A coffee shop, anywhere. So what we started to do, and it actually all started out with just 2 jackets, that we had the mindset of the commuter and the mindset of someone who had the same sort of sensibility and aesthetic, but still wanted that protection. So it's actually been a really disruptive force within the field, and it's been nice.
There's a protective life behind all good innovations, basically.
100%. 100%.
You have a long personal history with the town of Aspen.
Indeed.
Why is it important for you to now have the store here, and what kind of destination do you want that to be for people?
Well, it's been part of my life for, I'm not going to age myself here, but a really long time. So it's where I learned. I was born and raised in Philadelphia, but every day off in school, we were here as a family. So it's where I got on my first motorcycle. It's where I first understood what powder was. I took my first hike, did all of those things. Being a kid from Philadelphia, this is a completely different world. What I didn't realize growing up as a child, which I've now come to really appreciate as an adult, some would say, is the fact that you can live 30 feet from the base of a mountain, but still have downtown culture, aesthetic, sort of a demand for the finer things without being gaudy.
Yes.
It's not a showy, it's just expected. And so looking for a place within a mountain community to share our products, there really was no other choice. We did look around, always in the back of my head saying, I think Aspen is the only one that would really understand this.
You have to shop it for appearance's sake. You have to look
for
around.
appearances, absolutely, yeah. You have to do other bids, and then and then you stick with where you were going to go anyway. But this town, there's really no other place like it that appreciates both aspects of the wilderness as well as, hey, let's not sacrifice anything to live at the base of a mountain.
So some crazy times we're living in now, and I know you have a long and illustrious history in the entertainment industry, producing movies, been focused on the fashion now. Any inkling of getting back into movie production, any projects you're seeing in that realm, or is it just basically daily television now is so crazy that we could never replicate it in fictional movies?
No, I mean, I think a couple things. One, to answer your question about going back, I think there are a lot of aspects I miss, and there's a lot of aspects I don't miss about the film industry. Better part of 11 years, it was great. Made close to 14 films in that time. So a lot of success, a lot of fun. People in this industry are much, much nicer. There's a more camaraderie feeling amongst different brands, having sort of open communication. So I won't bore you, but I do miss on-set camaraderie. I miss the story aspect. It was a wonderful thing to be able to make a living telling a story. I don't think there's a better job doing that. But no, I don't think so.
All right, well, I'm glad you're doing Ether.
Okay.
Stick with that. Ether apparel, one of my favorites. It looks good. It even sounds good, guys. The acoustics, the fabrics, right on Cooper Street Mall. Get over there. They also have Japanese whiskey, which is also very nice while you're shopping. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Congratulations on all the success. We're going to take a break. We're back with a lot more on Apre right after this.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.